Hi, I'm Danielle, and this is Shout Out Loud. Welcome, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Your presence is very much appreciated. Okay, we're gonna just jump right in. Was this a great night of Big Brother? I say yes. It kept me on edge, and as a fan, I loved it. I loved tonight's eviction episode. It was a triple eviction, and so let's get into it. Where do I start? I had a lot I wanted to add or to say in this episode. Things that have happened over the last couple of nights on the feeds and the Power of Veto episode. But why now, right? why even waste time talking about those things? Tonight's eviction episode was everything. Okay, let's start with Gino. He was hot, and I'm not talking about his looks. He was hot tonight, going out on that gummy drawer. Based on what he said, I understand why he thought he had to participate in the whole gummy thing, because he wanted to show that he was down for the five. Remember the five? But remember, the five was never really an alliance. I said that before. This was something Marty wanted to have happen because he was after the fictitious Cookout 2.0 alliance, right? That never existed in the house. It's fictitious. But in Marty's mind, all the black people were aligned. And boy, is he wrong? Is he wrong? His instincts were off, right? I wonder if he knows his instincts were wrong about the Cookout 2.0. I think he knows tonight, right? But his instincts were kind of on point with Dr. Josh, huh? I don't know. So Gino gets voted out with one vote to keep him, and that vote was his showman's JC Lynn. He regretted keeping Marty. He regretted the gummy strategy, and in the end, he told JC Lynn to stick with Summer and Betty. Did you hear that? Yeah, walking up the steps, he talked about the three-headed dragon. And he told JC Lynn to stick with Summer and Betty. I found that to be interesting. Gino had a nice exit, I suppose. I love how he said Herman was right. Everyone has that moment of clarity walking up the steps when they're leaving, right? I did feel for Gino because he should feel a little less than smart for trusting Marty, especially after the very first flip during Kyle's HOH. Once Marty showed you his hand then, he should have just remembered that always and never trusted him again. But, you know, I guess he was comfortable with Marty, right? He chastised Summer for being comfortable in the game and being this big competitor. And he just thought he had it all the way to the end with Marty, right? And JC Lynn. And he was comfortable. He fell asleep during the HOH comp. Remember that? And he went out on the gummy gate. All right. Summer. Okay, I understand why she was pissed at Josh, right? Remember, up until that moment of Josh nominating her, they were supposedly aligned, and he betrayed her. No, he backstabbed her. And might I add that Josh's move tonight was not a move that would serve his own game. He's playing for Kevin and Helena. I'm telling you guys, Josh is that third wheel, and he will get burned. The closer they get to the end, the more it's gonna hurt when they cut him. And he has it coming to him, but it's gonna come back on him. I'm telling you. Josh is the third wheel to Kevin and Helena. And I don't understand his game. I don't. It may have advanced him through tonight's triple eviction, but is he thinking long term, like the end of the game? I mean, I know there's 5 players left, but is Josh really thinking about winning? Who is he playing for? Is he playing for himself to win, or is he playing for Kevin or Helena to win? You know, I think he made a mistake tonight. Yeah. Okay, I'm also going to offer Summer a little grace in her exit, right? I did get satisfaction of her lighting into Josh because he did backstab her, and she really didn't understand why. And all he could do was stutter and stare at her. It made for great TV. But this is another effect of a triple eviction, right? Everything is happening so fast. So she didn't have time to understand, like, what's going on? Why did you put me up? I mean, he had them fooled, right? Both her and Betty. So I understood why Summer was pissed. I did get satisfaction of her going off on him. And I'm offering her a little grace in her exit. Yes, I am. I did cringe when she said, I have nothing to say to you people. And she didn't even try to save herself. But then I thought, let's be real. She wouldn't have gotten Helena or Kevin's vote anyway. So I get it. And let's not forget, up until that point, Summer has kept it cool and calm, right? Her behavior in that house, including her exit tonight, doesn't even come close to the aggression and the rage displayed by Marty. Remember when Marty banged on that table? And he was the HOH. He's banging on tables. He yelled at Summer. He kicked her out of the room. He's going to call Big Brother on her. Like, he was nasty. He was aggressive in this game. And he banged on that table. He showed rage. Summer showed none of that. So I'm offering her grace with the way she left tonight. And that's it. So if fans can get over Marty's rage and banging on tables and his aggression when he was actually the HOH, I can grant Summer some grace with her exit after being backstabbed by her friend and ally in the game. And that's how I feel. Yep. All right, let's talk a little bit more about Marty. Marty's exit was the opposite of Summer's, right? I felt both were performative, specifically when Summer said, this isn't the last time you'll see me on TV. You know, that's kind of for the camera, right? And Marty with the, you all are great players, and I respect you, and my vote is not cast in stone yet. All of that was performance to Canada and to the viewers, so we would think he is such a graceful player, and I just don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I think now that Marty knew his game was his game ended, he's trying to clean it up and show Canada he's really this graceful person, and he's not. He wasn't graceful at all in this game, other than letting Betty and Helena get the Wendy's night. I thought that was a very nice gesture. But I really felt by then he felt his game was coming to an end. But the whole, you're all great players, I respect you, I don't believe anything. I don't believe it. I don't. The way Marty has talked about Betty in this game and other people in the game and the fictitious Cookout 2.0 and all of that, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Now, Dr. Josh, right? I was already over him a couple of episodes ago. But his gameplay tonight, it did make for good TV. That's for sure. But did it keep him safe? I don't think so. Especially with what I just learned. And I'll tell you in a minute. All right, so Josh won the HOH. And since it was a triple, he nominated Marty, JC Lynn, and Summer, which is why Summer lit into him, as I mentioned a little earlier. So they played for the veto. JC Lynn, under pressure, she won the veto. We've seen her do this twice now. This will be her third veto. And every time she was fighting for her life, and every time she's pulled it. She's come through. She pulled it off. She plays well under pressure. I mentioned that before as well. When her life is on the line, she really, it kind of, similar to Herman, it kind of lights a fire under them, right? When they're trying to survive and get off the block, they play well, and she wins. And so she won the veto tonight. And of course, she saved herself. And then Josh nominated Betty in her place. Now, how shocked were we? I wasn't quite prepared for that. I really wasn't. I was already looking at Josh sideways because of how he's been talking about Betty to Marty, the whole apology, the Betty's saying things and I don't stand for that and all that stuff. I was still shocked that he nominated Betty. Were you shocked about that? Yeah. And like I said, I was already looking at him sideways because of how he was talking about Betty. And him being this third wheel in the crash test dummies, He solidified tonight that he is loyal to Kevin and Helena. He really believes they are this trio. And it's going to hurt him so badly when he gets cut by Kevin or Helena. It may be funny, I don't know, but it's going to hurt him. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how. Kevin has been really good pulling him in. Kevin is playing a good game because he has convinced Josh that Josh is like in equal standing with him, and he's not. Kevin and Helena will do, say, strategize, do anything to get to the end. And that includes cutting Josh. And you watch what I tell you. If the three of them make it, Josh is going to get cut. He would have to win from here on out. Really. Yeah, Josh has to win from here on out. Otherwise, he's gone. What else did I want to say? Tonight he solidified that he's loyal to Kevin and Helena. I think that's what I said. I meant to say Josh is loyal to Kevin and Helena. I hope that's what I said. If not, I meant to say Josh is loyal, and he showed tonight that he is loyal to Kevin and Helena. And Betty being put on the block was shocking for her. Not only that, I think it really showed Josh's hands, right? It exposed his whole game. And the way he moved tonight, he really jeopardized his game, you guys. Especially if he makes it to the end. I don't know. Let's see. We know he won't have Summer's vote. She said that she told Arissa he's not getting my vote. Right? And Summer doesn't want to talk to anybody. She feels so betrayed. And I get it. It was a fast moving night, so she didn't have time to process it. But anyway, talking about Josh, he won't have Summer's vote, and I don't think he'll give Betty's vote in the end either. I think JC Lynn wouldn't vote for him either, because he put her on the block, but I don't know. I do know I was surprised by Josh's move tonight. I was completely thrown off. I'm like, is he really nominating Summer? And is he really now nominating Betty? I was shocked. I didn't see this coming at all. And with his moves tonight, I'm not sure how well of jury management he did tonight. I don't think he did well at all. In the end, Summer and Marty were both evicted, and Betty survived the block. Already talked about Summers. Like, this isn't the last time you see me on TV. That was funny. I think they're playing sound bites on Twitter. I see that all over Twitter. They're showing Summer going off on Josh and then saying, this isn't the last time you'll see me. I remember hearing that on another season of Big Brother US. I can't remember which season. So if you remember that, let me know. All right, now here's the latest spoiler. As I was recording this and trying to watch the feeds at the same time, guess who won the HOH? Right? Guess who won? Betty. Betty won the HOH, which brings her into the final four. Can you believe this? This night couldn't get any better. What do you think will happen? First, everyone gets to play in the veto, right? Except the HOH. So she'll have to really think strategically about the move, and not be emotional, but think strategically on who to nominate, right? And everyone gets to play veto. So everyone will have the opportunity to pull themselves off, right? So the nominations could change depending upon the veto. So the veto is very important. HOH was good for Betty because it moves her to the final four. But the power of veto is even more important, right? All right, so I'm thinking if Josh and Helena end up on the block, I think Josh goes, even in a tie, right? If Josh and Kevin are on the block, I think it could result in a tie and Josh would go. I think if JC Lynn is on the block against anyone, she goes. Against Josh, she goes because Kevin and Helena will vote. Against Kevin, she goes because Josh and Helena will be voting. Against Helena, she goes because Josh and Kevin will be voting. So JC Lynn against anybody, JC Lynn goes home. If Kevin and Helena are on the block, I think it would result in a tie, and I think Kevin would go. Right? Maybe. I don't know. I truly hope at this point in the game for Betty and JC Lynn to have a shot at winning, they need to break up Josh, Kevin, and Helena, right? I'm just stating the obvious. The better combination would be for Betty to put up Kevin and Helena in that last scenario, right? And hopefully the noms will stay the same. And then Betty and JC Lynn would align and decide who needs to go. You know, because if it ends up in a tie, Betty breaks the tie, right? So Kevin and Helena are on the block. That means Josh and JC Lynn would vote. If Josh decides that he wants to keep Kevin, and JC Lynn and Betty decides Helena should stay, it's a tie. Betty breaks the tie, and vice versa, right? But I think the better nomination would be Kevin and Helena, right? So I hope Betty and JC Lynn aligns or figure out they need to align, right? Because there's 3 against 2 now, right? Because we have Kevin and Helena. They're a duo. Then we have Kevin, Helena, and Josh, and they're just holding on to Josh because it works in their favor, right? Josh is the third wheel. And then we have JC Lynn. She lost her number 1. Betty really lost her number 1 because Josh betrayed her. Right? And Summer's gone. So Betty, what would be better for Betty and JC Lynn to align? I think that would make for great Big Brother gameplay. I could be off with all of this, right? And wrong, but it's fun to talk about. Now Josh and Kevin, as I'm recording this, they're chatting, and Josh is saying he knows his relationship with Betty can't be repaired. And Kevin immediately is going into how they should spin this in terms of why they put Betty on the block. See, Kevin is steadily playing. He doesn't let up. And as he is steadily playing, Helena is steadily and consistently lying. Right? She's already talking to Josh as well, like after this, and tells Josh, don't worry. Oh, wait, not before Josh. Well, she was telling Josh, don't worry, it'll be repaired and all that. But she was lying to Betty, saying, I never had a final 2 with Marty, and throwing people under the bus. Lying. Helena lies like a politician. I think I said this before. And the girl does not break. She'll lie and hold on to it. She won't break a sweat. And people... She just lies, but she's lied like this the entire game. It's worked for her. That was her strategy, lying and not calling people out, but lying and throwing people under the bus, sharing all the information with whomever just to serve her own game, her and Kevin's game, right? It's worked for her the entire game. And both Kevin and Helena are already into action, doing what they do best. Kevin, distracting, making people feel comfortable. I'm on your side, I understand. And meanwhile, scheming with Helena. And what is Helena doing? Lying. Oh my goodness. It's great. And Josh has the nerve to say he's not upset with Betty. She just doesn't understand. And I'm like, Josh, are you really saying that Betty just doesn't understand? Like, Josh, I don't know. I don't think he's a good gamer. I just don't. I don't care if he's in the final 5. He got there on the backs of Kevin and Helena, basically, or more so Kevin. And Josh is not a good game player. And I'm telling you, he's going to get burned. Watch. You watch. It's going to be great to watch. All right. The other thing I wanted to share really quickly was Betty's POV win the night before. They aired that episode last night. I felt when she won and when she said, I'm not going anywhere, Marty. I loved it. It was great. Even Marty had to smile and clap at that because just the passion. That girl was so happy she won that power of veto, and we all felt it. I loved it. I loved every minute of it, her excitement. But when she really said, I'm not going anywhere, Marty, that made me chuckle. I said, yeah. And lo and behold, who outlasted Marty? Betty. Right? When he was saying she can't win a game to save her life. And Kyle with she can't win her way out of a paper bag or something to that effect. They all trashed Betty's game. And look, she has outlasted who? Gino, Herman, Moose, Marty, Kyle. Like, she has outlasted all of those guys. She's been nominated 3 times. She'll have an end story for sure to convince jury members. So hopefully she will continue to win and make her way through one of the final 2 players, or final 3, depending upon how this season goes. All right. Anyway, it looks like Betty is winning. When she needs to, I'm saying. She wins comps when she needs to, right? She's she's playing a great end game right now. She's definitely going into the final 4. I'm wishing her a successful and a smart HOH. We'll have to see what happens. The other stuff I was going to share about the Power Veto episode, it no longer matters, right? But in summary, I was going to talk about the gummy drawer. I thought that was dumb. And none of them should have participated in it, but I guess they felt pressured to. And JC Lynn should have used that secret veto to get Marty out. I was going to reiterate that. Although that girl wins under pressure, so if she stays consistent with her power veto wins, she has a shot, right? She just will have to continue to win here on out. Nevertheless, I think all of them will respect JC Lynn's power veto wins in the end, right? She also would have a good end game story to convince jurors as well, right? And can you believe, I already talked about this. Helena, before I end here, Helena is talking to Betty. She's already in her ear throwing people under the bus. She claims she didn't have a final 2 with Marty. I already brought that up earlier. So tonight's feed should be great. I'll be back tomorrow to share who is nominated, and again on Saturday or Sunday morning to talk about who won the power of veto. I think it's going to be a great week. This was a great episode. Good Big Brother TV. I loved every minute of it. So Gino is gone. Marty is gone. Summer is gone. And who is left? We have Betty, the new HOH. Then we have Josh, Kevin, Helena, and JC Lynn. These are our final 5 players in the BBCAN Season 10. Nothing like the boys playing at all, right? We know Herman, Moose, and Gino will be happy to see Marty and jury. We know that for sure. And I have to admit, I did not predict that Betty, Josh, Kevin, Helena, and JC Lynn will end up as the 5 final players at all. So going back to my episode where I said it's a predictable season, I did not see this, so I stand corrected. All right, the house guest served us a great game of Big Brother tonight. I enjoyed it. So what say you? Let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks in advance. All right, and that's all I have, so be sure to come back and give me a listen. I'd love for you to like, share, follow, and subscribe. Please and thank you. All right, my name is Danielle, and you're listening to my podcast, Chatter Out Loud. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, I appreciate your support. And that's all I have. Thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.